guys, and welcome back to Orchard Creek Homestead. I want to walk you through some of the things that occurred during our first week on the homestead. The biggest of which is that we had someone come in and bush hog the back of our property. So like I said during the walking tour, our property is about 6 acres with about 3 of it technically cleared. Only about maybe an acre of it was mowed. So we had our next door neighbor come in with his bush hog, and he actually took the opportunity to bush hog the back 2 acres or so that was overgrown and junky and just sketchy. And you can see some of the video here, and what a difference it made. Like, I can really visualize the pasture going in there now that everything has been cleared, and it'll be a lot easier for us to maintain. That same neighbor also offered us the opportunity for some free mulch. Now it's kind of the tops of trees, leaves, so it's very thick mulch. It's not mulch you would pay for at a store or anything, but we definitely took advantage of that, and we have gotten several loads already, which you can see Rob starting to fill in underneath the barn where there's so much poison ivy and stuff. And we're also going to continue to use that mulch to help amend our garden area, because we're kind of doing the deep mulch system since our dirt is so just hard and stuff like that. So he's already gotten a lot of it spread out, and we still have so much more to do. One of the other things that Rob managed to do is that he started kind of getting rid of some of those big, huge brush piles that were located in our front yard. So what he did was he cut a lot of the brush down, he sprayed some of the poison ivy, and then he started burning. So it was dry enough that the one section could burn, the other section we weren't able to burn at this time. But during the first week, he started burning that. And up in that area is where our fig trees and our orchard is going to go. So it's crucial that we start getting a lot of that taken care of and broken down, so that way come spring we can start planting all of our fruit trees. Another big thing that happened during our very first week on the homestead is that Rob went and picked up our chicken coop. Like I said in my last video about the homestead tour, Rob was going to go pick up the chicken coop and bring it back. It was an old chicken coop that his dad had built back in the day. It's probably 10 years old, every bit of it, but he went and hauled it back. Now the kicker was we had to figure out how to get it off the trailer. So at his dad's house, his brother had actually loaded it onto the trailer for him using the front end loader of a tractor. So since it's just Rob here, we had to use a little bit of redneck ingenuity in order to get it off of the trailer. Now, me being, 34, 35 weeks pregnant, there wasn't much I can do to really help him. I tried to help him as much as possible, but he told me to kind of just record it because he wanted to see if everything went bad. He wanted to see what went wrong. So what he did is there's a nest of pine trees right behind the area that we're putting the chicken coop. So he chained a chain to that. He wrapped a chain around the tree and then wrapped it to some boards that he attached to the chicken coop, and he made kind of a sled. So underneath the bottom of the chicken coop legs are more boards that kind of transformed it into a bit of a sled. So in theory, as he pulls the trailer, it'll pull the chicken coop off of the trailer. We did have a little bit of difficulty, of course, because nothing ever goes perfect. So he had to get a couple of boards to kind of push the chicken coop forward a little bit because it was leaning. And as you can kind of see in this video, the chicken coop itself is really leaning. It had a hard ride back, but we pushed it up. And then he got back in the truck and he pulled it again. And it's just taking that slow and steady motion of just doing a little bit, checking, making sure how everything's going back, doing a little bit more. We've learned that if you rush through things and try to get everything done in a hurry, that's when you really start having those issues. So my biggest piece of advice to anyone out there, especially when you're homesteading, is to just take your time on a project. Do not try to rush through things. So as you can see, it's moving down a little bit more, and now you can kind of see the sleds that he created almost. So he got out again, went and checked, pushed it a little bit forward. Now during this time, Caleb was safely inside. We left him inside with a couple of activities just so he stayed out of the way, because it was something that required so much of our attention. And then this is the last little bit. Like I said, it worked like gangbusters. And what's left is to just kind of brace up the chicken coop a little bit more, make it not so crooked, and to get the chickens in there. But the placement is what we wanted, and we are very happy with how much progress we made during our first week. All right, thanks for watching.